question 4, which is analyzing a cartoon. So you're going to read text E, which is the cartoon. So read the cartoon, and then you answer the questions that follow. So if we take a look at the cartoon here, similar to the adverts, what you have to do is you have to understand the cartoon first before you attempt to answer the questions. And yes, you might not get some things the first time around and actually start to get it when the question is asked, but you do want to still try as far as possible to understand it on your own before moving along. And often with cartoons, there's humor. So you want to be able to identify the humor within that cartoon, just so that you're at ease. I think I would panic so much if I don't get it before I answer the question. So let's take a look at it. You'll notice that the cartoon has got frames, and each frame is labeled. And this will help you in answering the questions, but sometimes you have more than 3 frames. It shows you how to read it as well. So you start from frame 1, 2, and then 3, so you don't get it all muddled up and confused. So we've got Blondie, and then you read the words. So you'll note, just like with the advertisement, you've got 2 things to look at. It's the words as well as the visuals. And when we talk about the visuals, what are you looking at? You're looking at the facial expressions of the characters. You're looking at their gestures. So what are they doing with their hands? You're looking at basically the body language. You're also looking for things such as the movement lines. You're looking at what is drawn. So you can identify things like the setting. Where are they? Just by looking at the pictures. What is in the frame? So as you can see with the first frame here, we have the 2 ladies speaking. So the one is on the other side of the hedge. So we can assume maybe it's neighbors speaking or their friends. And we see a lawn mower. So already you can suggest that the lady is doing the garden or just simply mowing the lawn. Now let's take a look at what is being said. Okay, so you also note there's a glossary with the just explaining the word gasoline, which is petrol. So that should suggest that this is an American cartoon because of the language used there. Okay, so let's read. It says, "What's the problem, Blondie? Out of gasoline?" "No, I think the problem is the starter." Then we go to the second frame. "Is it broken?" "No, it's just got distracted." And then you see the image. So with the third frame, what you see is you don't see Blondie, but you see what she says. And instead you have the man sleeping there on the hammock. And how do you know that they're sleeping? Again, we spoke about the visual techniques that you see there. So the mouth is wide open. Some people sleep like that. I'd like to think I don't.
Do you snore?
No, not as far as I have not been told that I snore.
Okay.
And then you see the Z sign there, which is used quite often to signify or to show that someone is snoring while they're sleeping. Okay, so that's the sound that is being made. So, and then you see at the bottom that says, note in this cartoon, the woman on the left is the neighbor, and the woman on the right is Blondie, and the man is Dagwood. So you get you get an explanation, which is not what you find if you read a cartoon from the newspaper, for example.
No.
But
I would like is Dagwood, Blondie's husband.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that we could have added that in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we have the information there, but I've been able to identify the humor in just the third the third frame.
You said that Blondie's speaking. How do I know that? She's not in the frame.
Mm-hmm. So if you look at the line there, the speech bubble, the line from the speech bubble points to the second frame and points in Blondie's direction. So that is how you'll also notice, guys, that even with, if we look at frame 1 and 2 as well as 3, the speech bubble will have that pointer pointing towards the actual speaker. The actual speaker, so you can see there, you can even see with Dagwood, it's pointing in his direction. So it makes it a bit clearer for us to see who is speaking and where the words or sounds are coming from. Okay, so now we can take a look at the questions. Refer to frame 4.1. 4.1.1, where does the conversation between Blondie and her neighbor take place? So the feedback apparently from this particular question was that a lot of the learners didn't quite understand this very literal question, I want to say. It's quite a simple question. Because so the aim is to not overanalyze. We get so nervous that you get the simple question, you're like, there's got to be more to it than just that. But
no,
really,
it's a where question.
that's all you're being asked, is to identify where they are. And you can see that they're in the garden, for example. So you can just mention that they're in the garden. How do you know that? There's the lawnmower, there are the trees, there's the hedge. So you look at the visual part to tell you that. So it's quite simple. And usually with these, with the comprehensions and questions like that, the first question isn't going to be a hard-hitting one. It's usually we start with the simple question just for you to get an idea, just to smooth you into the whole thing.